We ran the Pioneer probes. We ran the Pioneer length calibration to get the length of the probe, and it spat out 171.652. I know from previous calibrations that's grossly off. I'm usually in the 160s. But I can verify my master tool length. That's a physical length that I can check this against. So what I've done is I did a G54 single surface Z, and this is what it gave me. All right, with that tool offset of the probe. Okay. Comparing that to the master tool, this is how much it was off by, 6.194 millimeters. So I adjusted to that. So I put in this as a new length offset for the probe. And as you can see, I continually did that to hone in. All right, so I put in the new offset, ran the probe again, and it was off by 0.3 millimeters. I had a new calculation, put in a new offset of decimal 145, and was off by 2 microns. Adjusted for that, was off by 1 micron. Now I'm chasing zeros. I adjusted for 1 micron, and all of a sudden, I'm off by 7 microns in the other direction. I ran it again without adjustment. I'm off by 5. So I just flipped it right back to 145, and I was 0.
You're probably asking yourself now, how repeatable is the probe? To achieve accuracy and repeatability at the level called out in the manual requires perfection. Perfect runout, a perfect stylus with a perfect ruby, and a perfect surface on which to probe. I have none of these qualities in my shop, and I'm by no means perfect, quite the opposite. I work with crude metals at the best of times, and I haven't been able to adjust my runout to better than 5 to 7 microns. That said, I did some preliminary probing tests to see how accurate and repeatable my setup is. The first thing I noticed was that the first probe is usually the worst probe. These graphs show the change in values based on probe attempts. It not only shows that the repeatability of my probe is closer to 10 microns, but also that the first attempt is less accurate than subsequent attempts. Mind you, these are tiny numbers I'm talking about. Even with this level of accuracy, I'm confident using the probe to identify my WCS. The main reason I did these tests was to get a baseline prior to recalibrating my probe. I mainly wanted to see if the Y probing was compromised because some of my flip parts have been slightly off. You'll notice that in the Y web section, the delta of the first probing attempt was 0.007 millimeters off the baseline, though I don't think that is a big enough difference to cause notable problems when I machine both sides of a part. Interestingly, the remaining Y web probe attempts fell within the 2 micron range of repeatability. Now that I have the probe recalibrated, I think I'll rerun these same tests and compare. Let's hope it doesn't get worse.